This is Randall here in Texas.
And I'm Matt here in Michigan. Today, Randall and I have a flashback review. We're taking a look back at 2003's Kill Bill Volume 1. Now it stars Uma Thurman, who also co-wrote the film, Lucy Liu, Vivica A. Fox, Daryl Hannah, Sony Chiba, and David Carradine as Bill. It is written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. He's also known for several films including Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and Django Unchained, just to name 3. But before Randall and I go any further in this review, if you like this review, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also be sure to hit subscribe and ring that bell to get notifications on our latest videos.
Old Klingon proverb says that revenge is a dish best served cold. And after a failed murder attempt leaves the pregnant bride in a coma for 4 years, she wakes up without having her child, and she has nothing else on her mind but to seek revenge on those that wronged her. But first, she has to wiggle her big toe.
Hard part's over. Now, let's get these other piggies wiggling.
Kill Bill Volume 1 had about a $30 million budget and made about $181 million at the box office. It's very well liked by critics and audiences. The original cut of this film was nearly 4 hours long, and it was intended to be one film. But after Miramax asked him to shorten it, Quentin Tarantino couldn't quite come to actually do that and decided to split it into Volume 1 and Volume 2. But you know what? That's the thing. The original trailer said that in 2003, that Bill was going to be killed. And in fact, he was not killed until 2004.
So, Kill Bill Volume 1 is still an enjoyable movie for me. I like that it covers a lot of different genres, and I think the action and a bit of gore, but it's enjoyable.
I still really enjoy Volume 1. It's crazy, the over-the-top homage to samurai films and spaghetti westerns. Those two genres really should work together, but somehow Quentin Tarantino makes them work together. You don't really get it. It's a visual pleasure to watch this film again. So for me, it really does still hold up well, and I'm glad that we took the time to actually sit down and watch it again, because it is a lot of fun to watch, even if a bit gory. Kill Bill Volume 1 and really Kill Bill Volume 2 as well. It's a nice, simple revenge story. But it doesn't just end there. Like, I've said this before in previous reviews, that sometimes what works the best is just a simple plot and then we see where it goes. And Kill Bill Volume 1 follows that mold. Very simple plot, but how the story unfolds is very interesting. I like the way that not everything's in order, and it's very reminiscent of Quentin Tarantino's earlier films like Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, where the film is not always shown chronologically. So Volume 1 does a very good job of that, where things kind of happen on screen at different times, but the way they're broken into different chapters and filmed so differently from one another really helps keep each segment pretty fresh.
Yeah, you took all my points too. Exact same thing, Randall. Just echoing what you say. Also saying it's kind of interesting of, this typical, revenge flick. And here in our protagonist, we don't really know a whole lot about our protagonist in this movie. Other than, these people that she's going after really wronged her. And you're kind of rooting for her in this first movie. We're kind of seeing a bit of, like her, I guess, kind of like building up more as we go on to this film. But yes, and to echo what you said about the out of order stuff too, I think it works really well for this film.
There's one thing I will add that's it kind of doesn't fit anywhere else so much. It's that the Quentin Tarantino films are very well known for their scores, their music really working, and the music in Kill Bill Volume 1 really works with the story. Every segment of this has some form of music, and it really helps you get into the feel for how this scene is supposed to be and how this part of the film and the story in question should be feeling. The music, A plus.
All right, so for the characters in this movie, I think it's interesting what we know and what we don't know about the different characters in this. I already alluded to our protagonist. We really don't know a whole bunch about her. We don't even know her name. She's simply referred to as the bride. And anytime anyone in this movie says her name, it's bleeped out so the audience doesn't hear it.
Hi, honey. I'm Mr. Steve. What's your name?
So it's kind of interesting about that, but some of the characters we do know a bit more about are some of the people on her hit list. Specifically, Lucy Liu's O-Ren in this one, we get quite a bit of a build-up backstory to her character. And I think it really works because that is kind of like the, I would say, baddie, even though Bill is the big baddie and he's another one of those characters that we really don't know too much about and he's kind of secretive in this movie. But we're building up to the climax of this movie, Volume 1, is that big fight with Lucy Liu. So it makes sense that we get a lot of information about her character, O-Ren, in this one. So yeah, I think that's kind of an interesting element about which characters we know a bunch about and what characters we don't know a whole lot about in this film.
I think the characters aspects of a lot of Tarantino work, but in particular, Volume 1 Kill Bill here, is how much you don't need to know about specific characters for it to be fine. Vernita Green, which is Vivica A. Fox's character, it doesn't require you to know a whole bunch about her past because Quentin Tarantino immediately throws in the
I'm not gonna murder you in front of your child, okay?
And it's like, okay, she's moved on from whatever past she had with Bill and everything, and that's the character aspect that you need to know now. But like you said, you do know the really important character is O-Ren Ishii, which is played by Lucy Liu, and all of her backstory, because that's like the climax of this film. Everything that goes on there, like it's important to know how she got where she was and how she is so powerful in the Yakuza Japan and everything. That is just really good filmmaking. But let's be honest. I mean, even if you don't know a whole bunch about her past, Uma Thurman takes the cake here as the bride in this volume of the movie. Like, you know what? I don't know very much about her. I just know that what happened to her was terrible, and I'm gonna root for her. And she does a great job as in that revenge, just overriding everything else in her mind. Special shout out, Matt. You're probably gonna elaborate on this, but you also get a really good amount of necessary exposition with Hanzo, but it's not like crazy exposition.
Yeah, I thought that stuff was good too. I mean, it also kind of enhances a bit of what we know about like Bill, because we really don't know anything about Bill in this. He's kind of like the leader of these people that wronged, the bride, and he's like the last one on her list, the big baddie and stuff too. But really, he's a shadow, and the only things that we really get about him, or at least a sense about him, and like other bad stuff he's done, is kind of with that little stuff with Hanzo and stuff too. So that's good too. But really, the character I was kind of add on a little bit too, kind of goes on a little bit with the feel and different stuff of this movie. I would talk about Elle Driver in this one. She's in this movie so short. Her character's so short in it, but it's a bit over the top, almost comic book style how she does it. It really lends to like that grindhouse feel. That's one of those genres and other stuff that this movie's going for.
Every time you say that, I just can't think. It's just do 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 do. It just, and then it just, oh, that music's so good. She does it so well. It's filmed so well. I like it. So what genre aspects to talk about? Just yes to all of them. They all work. Everything in this film works. When the comedy is there, the comedy works. Even if it's gory comedy, it's still like, hey, the bride chops this woman's arm off, and like usually that's just pretty gruesome. But in this, it's blood spraying everywhere, crazy, and it's like that's there for comedic effect. It's not everyone's cup of tea comedy. Same thing when Oren cuts off the head of the Yakuza boss, and you're like, oh wow, that would normally be extremely gruesome, but in this, it's just, oh, she cuts off his head, and then there's a fountain of blood that comes out, and it's like, so the comedy hits, the fight scenes hit, the samurai stuff hits, the spaghetti western stuff hits. I don't know any other director that could pull all these together besides Quentin Tarantino.
Randall, I think you and I are on the same wavelength when it comes to this film. Same thing I was going to talk about too. I mean, heck, talk about the Grindhouse, like you said, spaghetti westerns, samurai films, all does well. Me too. I wanted to focus on that over-the-top violence. When some movies are like trying to be like too close to realistic, sometimes the violence is there to like put you at unease or whatever to really get you. That's not this. This is over the top, like you said, blood's going everywhere. To me, I can actually enjoy that because it's over the top. We're watching a movie. Like, this movie's letting you know that this is something over the top, done for effect and stuff, and not meant to feel like real life things are happening.
Because it's so much fun, Chan. Get it?
I'm actually going to talk about the music. Did I see it coming? I mean, yeah, Brandon and I have watched this movie a bunch of times and stuff. I don't think even watching it now, anything really caught me off guard that I'm like, I didn't really think about it this time. So I'm just using this as an excuse to talk more about the music. Like Randall said, it works really, really well in this film. Tarantino films are excellent for that. We already talked about the L scene or whatever where the music plays, and you just think about that scene too whenever you hear that music and stuff too. I like how different types of music are. So it adds to, like we were saying, all those different feels. We play Western music to give more of like a Western feel for certain scenes. We have kind of like more, I would say, like upbeat jazz, kind of music or whatever in different parts. I know that's kind of funny, jazz being upbeat, but whatever. not it's not blues. But yes, I think that the music really does enhance this movie, in different ways, because this movie is covering so many different genres or taking from a little bit of different genres. The music is really what helps solidify that and helps each one work as a whole in this movie.
Well, I'm going to go a different direction with my Didn't See That Coming segment, and I'm going to go back to 2003 when we saw the film for the first time, and just say the anime segment was a complete and utter surprise. And I think anyone who's watching it fresh, who has never seen it before, even if like, hey, yeah, there's something in this film, like the anime stuff that happens, if you were watching it and you're just watching it through and all of a sudden this anime segment hits, you're still going to be like, wow, I did not see that coming. It is one thing to mix samurai and spaghetti westerns, fine. But then you're just like, you know what? I'm going to one-up everybody. I'm going to put a straight up anime segment in my serious drama revenge flick. And it works. It works so well. I mean, I know it's one of those weird things to keep saying, like, I don't know any other director who could pull this off but Quentin Tarantino. I don't know that any other directors tried, really, but he just has a way of doing this kind of stuff. And who else has thrown an anime clip into the middle of their live action film and it just seamlessly works? No one. That's who. No one else. So, in conclusion, I think that this film is probably more fun to watch again. Yeah, sure, watching it for the first time and being shocked and surprised and like happy at everything that's happening is its own joy, but rewatching Volume 1 and knowing what's coming up and knowing when your favorite stuff's going to come and like, oh, I can't wait for this, this scene, and then still being able to feel that build up to the climax with the crazy 88s and Oren. It's a lot of fun to watch, and I thoroughly enjoyed rewatching it.
To me, I still really enjoy Kill Bill Volume 1. You know, Tarantino has some things about his movies, like, it definitely has Tarantino flavor all throughout this film. I mean, his fingerprints are all over this movie. But at the same time, too, Tarantino, I think, does a good job of having his movies also feel a little bit different from each other. And I think Kill Bill is no exception to that. It does feel a little bit different than some of other Tarantino's other films. I definitely enjoy this movie and think it's a movie that you can go back to after a little while. I mean, I don't think this is a movie that's gonna wear out on me, you know, after future. I gonna be watching this future, and I am ready for Volume 2. But Rand and I want to know what you guys think about Kill Bill Volume 1. Let us know in the comments below. Also, be sure to check out some of our other reviews. We have other flashback movie reviews, new movie reviews, we take a look at TV shows, and we have deeper dive discussions.
Don't forget to go check us out over on Facebook. We post the day before what's coming up next on YouTube, and also some things from our other fandoms. But if you don't want to bother with Facebook, that's completely okay. We are uploading videos on a schedule. New videos every Monday and Thursday. For now, I'm Randall here in Texas. See everyone next time.
And I'm Matt here in Michigan. Have a good day. Next time on No Market Media. Please consider checking out some of our other videos.